As the new mom of a 3-month-old girl, Alana Powell is desperate for childcare. She can't afford to go back to work without a subsidized spot.
Honestly, it's a nightmare because you need to get on the wait lists at all the different centers. You're just crossing your fingers that a space opens up. Then if you need subsidy, that's a whole separate other wait list you need to get yourself on too.
She says Premier Doug Ford's announcement today doesn't make her feel any more secure.
I'm really happy to hear that the cuts aren't happening, but that doesn't mean they're not going to happen next year. And anyone with children knows you have to plan ahead.
The surprise cuts were revealed in the province's spring budget. It was left to all 444 municipalities to absorb them in the middle of their budget year. Some of them pushed back hard.
People are just not going to sit by and watch them mistreat municipalities in this way, but frankly mistreat the people.
Toronto Mayor John Tory door-knocked. Community groups mobilized too, getting more than 31,000 people in Toronto to sign a petition demanding the province reverse the cuts. The mayors of Ontario's largest cities wrote to the Premier. And today, Ford backed down.
Are we right 1,000% of the time? I wish we were right 1,000% of the time. Are municipalities right 1,000? No, they aren't right 1,000% of the time. But when we work together, we can do some really great things.
But this is just a delay. More cuts are coming.
The work to communities now is to explain really, how funding works in childcare, that there isn't, a whole bunch of gravy or wiggle room.
Advocates for public health say it's not a luxury either. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
Mike Crawley is our Ontario Provincial Affairs reporter. Mike, Doug Ford was sure standing tough on this issue last week, so why the compromise today?
Well, Rosemary, you saw the pushback there was in Ali's story. And on top of all that, there was a series of opinion polls that showed a steep drop in support for Doug Ford's Progressive Conservatives. Ford wouldn't tell me if those polls had an impact on his decision, but it's hard to imagine that plummeting approval wasn't a factor.
And I know that his federal cousins, Andrew Scheer, and that party is watching all of this unfold pretty closely as well.
Yeah, federal Liberals and Conservatives are telling me that Ford's budget cuts have become a bit of a drag on Andrew Scheer's polling numbers in Ontario. And that matters, of course, because of all the swing ridings that the federal Conservatives are targeting in this province. The strategists that I've spoken to say it's not likely to be a deciding factor come the October federal election, but there's clearly some concern among Conservatives that they've been taking some collateral damage over Ford's cuts.
Okay, so municipalities get a bit of a reprieve, but Ford was, after all, elected to do this, to balance the budget, to make some cuts. So what's the next battle here?
Well, the next budget fight is a schoolyard brawl. All the contracts for the teachers' unions expire in August. The government seems to be signaling that it wants teachers to agree to wage freezes, and that won't go down well at the bargaining table, so watch out for labor disruption in Ontario schools this fall.
Okay, lots happening in politics in this province. Thanks, Mike Crawley. Appreciate it.